Hello, good morning. Checking to see everything is lined up, and it is not aligned properly. Let's try this way. I don't know how I did it, but I managed to get my phone backwards to this morning. Awesome. Whew. What a morning. I'm a little bit running behind today. Had a hard time getting my husband out the door. Okay. Let's readjust. I'm not sure why it films differently depending on if you're doing a live stream or just doing a regular video. I may have to adjust some curtains here and there depending on the sunlight coming in. It is actually sunny this morning. It has been rainy and wet for several days. So we're all surprised to see the sun. I have my coffee here. I'm actually kind of almost done with coffee. I may have to switch to something else in a bit. So today I'm going to be working with some Kindred Stamps and My Favorite Things products. I have this stamp set from Kindred Stamps called Sea Friends, and it has a lot of really cute and punny sentiments to go with it, and some different aquatic themed characters like a clownfish and a tangfish, a starfish, a seagull, a turtle, a stingray. He's super cute. And then I'm going to be making them into a shaker card, like fish in an aquarium. And I'm going to be using the aquarium shaker from My Favorite Things. And I have the pouches, the coordinating pouches that go along with this. I'm not entirely sure if we're going to be doing some stamping and then masking and blending, or if we're going to be doing some coloring. I figured that I would just kind of get started and let it work from there. The pouches are still, I mean, they're not huge, so I can probably only fit a couple of images inside my little aquarium. I think at the bare minimum I wanted to fit the 2 clownfish and the tangfish, and I think that they might fit. I have to crowd them up, but I wanted maybe some like plant life or some kind of accessories to go along in here. And this set doesn't have any, it's just a couple of little seashells. But I did find, going through my stash, I was hoping that I had the Lawn Fawn aquarium set, and I don't. But I did find this You Are Sublime set from Lawn Fawn, and I think this came out this last spring, and it does have a couple of bits of coral and plants if we can fit it into the image that we'd like to use for the aquarium. I thought that we could use a couple of those. So I'm going to kind of just play around with this a little bit. Let me get some products found. I'm feeling quite a bit off today. I don't know if it will let me link. I don't know. let's give it a try. I had some issues, I think it was last week, getting links to work. There we go. That is the Sea Friends. I have a little bunny rabbit underneath the desk who's clawing at my pant legs. Here are the My Favorite Things aquarium dies. And here's a link for the coordinating shaker pouches. For benefit of anybody watching the replay, if you look at the chat that will go along with this video, all of the products will be linked there. And once the video is properly uploaded and logged into my videos, I'll have the links down below as well. It takes a couple hours after you're done with a live stream to get that prepared. Anyway, so again, the thing that I really want to do is I think that I want to try doing a little bit of masking, and then I can do some Distress Oxide inking over my scene to make my background for the aquarium, and then we'll kind of pull everything together in the card. Yeah, so let's just see if that would even work. I don't know if it's going to be more trouble than it's worth to cut all the different masks, or if it would just be easier to just cut and fussy cut my images, because there's no coordinating dies for Kindred Stamps. They do have, a lot of their sets have coordinating cutting files for the Cricut, but I am not in a position to use those right now. My Cricut is kind of buried right now, and it's just not good. So I'm also not sure, I thought that I would do some, you know what, I could just do some Tombow coloring. I was going to do some coloring with my, here's my thought process. I have alcohol marker paper and I have Bristol paper, and Bristol paper is better for Distress Oxide inking, and this is obviously better for alcohol markers. I wanted to use my alcohol markers today, but I did a little test on some Bristol paper to see if the alcohol markers would work earlier, and I don't like the way that that doesn't blend. So I was thinking that I would just do like a one-tone coloring, but then it just occurred to me just now, why don't I just skip the alcohol markers entirely, and then I can, when I'm ready to color the images, I can use my Tombow markers, which also work on Bristol paper, so that clears up quite a lot right there. So I actually wanted to make multiples of these cards to have on hand. The one that we're making today is intended to be a card for one of my daughter's friends, a birthday card for one of my daughter's friends. She's turning 11. She's having a surprise birthday party towards the end of the month. So I wanted to make sure to get her card done. And I also happen to be doing in our paper crafting group, Paper Crafters Plus, if anyone is interested in applying over there. Our greeting card exchange for November is birthday cards for children, so I figured that I would make some extras to send along to people in that group. I saved my packaging, which is why I made the effort to pull it out. Now, I haven't separated my dies or anything. I just wanted to take on this Bristol paper, and I just wanted to pencil the size of my aquarium here in the center of, let me make sure I have the right side, in the center of the paper, so I know the space that we're working with. Okay, so that is going to be the size of my aquarium. And let's figure out what we want to build for a scene. These are so cute. I love Kindred Stamps. Support small business. They're a very small business from Seattle. I'll put this on here so you can still see the colors. So I did want to use, at the bare minimum, I wanted to use the tangfish and 2 of the clownfish, although I suppose we could just do 1 of the clownfish too, if we had to. Let's see. Really nice, thick, good quality photopolymer here. So let's see. We've got 1 fishy here. I love fish. 1 fishy here. 1 fishy here. And that all fits. I wonder, can we fit the starfish is really cute. I'm wondering if we can fit that into my scene as well. Maybe over here. It's a little crowded, but it's what we call overstocked in the fish tank world. And then let's see if we can pull in any of these from the You Are Sublime set from Wonton. Okay, this is the only one I could think of that had some greenery for the water. I realize that this is more ocean than fish tank, but I don't think that anybody's going to come after me for my... So we could do, like, I don't know, this behind here, and then maybe this one behind here-ish, and then maybe this little rock. Or is that too much? That could be too much. Because if I'm doing masking, I have to cut masks for every single one of these, and this might be one of those incidences where I give up. I've taken on too much, and it's just too much work, so we'll see. Let me grab my stamp positioner, which I moved. Oh, it's right here, somewhere this morning. Here it is. Let's see. Here is my little background. And let's, we start, because we're going to be doing, let me move this back into the camera. Let me get some stamps out of the way. Because we're going to be doing some layering of images, I'm going to start with the images that I want in the background first, I think. No, in the foreground first, and then cover those up, and then type the, and then stamp the background. So we're going to start with the fish. And then once we mask all of these off, we'll come in and we'll stamp the greenery and stuff, which is going to go in the back. So here we are. Here we are with that little starfish. I don't know, is it too busy? And here's the little starfish, little clownfish. We'll see how that works. What do I have in front of me? If I'm going to be using my Tombos, I'm going to grab my Favorite Things Extreme Black, which just happens to be right here. That stamps beautifully. I probably don't even need to go in for a second try here. These are brand new stamps. Okay. They're so cute. Look at how cute they are. Because I'm doing a couple of different cards, let me just stamp it all at once. A couple more pages of Bristol. Hi, Bunny Rabbit. The rabbit is done with me, and now she's sleeping. Actually, I'll do it this way. She's sleeping on the floor next to me, the way that our living room area is set up. My craft station is in the living room. She's kind of in between me and the edge of the couch, and that's her perch, if you will, because she can see the main walk areas of the house, and she can chase the cats. If the cats come by, she can run them off. So that's what we got going on here for the naughty little bun. If you don't already have a stamp positioner, it is not only for regular day-to-day stamping and card making, but it is just almost necessary when you're producing multiples of something. Speaking of multiples of something, my husband is on his way to work currently. He's bringing a very large gift package that we have come up with. Where did I put my stamp chamois? Here it is. That we have come up with for an auction, a charity auction that his work is doing this holiday season. So I just sent him off with like a whole package of 20 something of my handmade greeting cards that he's going to donate for the silent auction that his work does to raise holiday funds for charity. I'm going to grab a piece of masking paper from Simon Says Stamp. This comes in a package of like 20. I don't think that I've even finished using the whole first page. This is how one package is like a lifetime supply, and it's not very expensive either. Let me see if I can find it for you. Ooh, it's been a while since I've purchased it. I have my little images that I spread out on my keyboard to dry off a bit. Let's see. What is it called? Masking paper. Okay, so it is $10 for 20 sheets, which is an enormous amount of masking paper. I think that I got mine, I don't know if it was on sale or clearance or I had a coupon or something. I'll link it for you. That is the masking paper from Simon Says Stamp. If you're interested. I have to figure out what side I'm... What side is the stickum? Okay, here we go. I'm just going to stamp these images. Might as well while I have them out for making my masks that I'm going to fussy cut out. I'm not going to be remotely worried about the quality of how these ones come out because I'm going to cut them out and use them as a mask. Oh, come on. Get stuff out of the way. Clean my stamps. I'm a big clean as you go type of gal. I don't know if anybody else is. Certainly I have a work area that is a disaster, but I do like to clean as I go whenever I can. Especially putting stamps back. I had a very sad incident, I don't know, probably a year ago, where I didn't put all of the stamps back immediately, and one of the stamps, unbeknownst to me, was stuck to the bottom, I think, of my Cuttlebug plate, and I ran something through my die cut machine and it partially crammed the stamp in there, and it was just a small stamp and it ruined the stamp. And of course it was like a pivotal stamp that goes with the stamp set. Not very bright. So I have a haul video coming out at some point, I don't know, this week or next week or whatever, but I did go ahead and get the 7-inch Tim Holtz Tonic Studio snips. I grabbed it at Hobby Lobby last week because they were on sale 40% off. I think I paid around $7 for them, and I've been using them for fussy cutting. Love them! Previously, I'd been using my small little Do Crafts X-Cut scissors here. I think the cutting surface is about the same. Maybe the Tim Holtz one is a little bit bigger, but these ones are a lot easier to hold. I like them. Oh my goodness. Percy, get down. Excuse me for a moment. My cat is standing on the fish tank. I have to grab my cat deterrent. Percy, get down. No. No. Thank you. Leave the fishies alone. Sorry. He normally doesn't do that during the day. He waits until I go to bed at night to harass the fish. Fortunately, the cover of the fish tank is nice and stable and he hasn't broken through it. Okay, so now I'm just going to fussy cut these little fishies out. Not too difficult. I don't do a lot of fussy cutting. It's not something that I enjoy. And I'm sorry if, let me look, if I'm moving it off screen a little bit. I don't have the greatest eyesight, so I'm going to get the better results bringing this a little bit closer to my face, which unfortunately brings it a little bit further away from you. I don't like the long tails on my fussy cutting. They irritate me. So here's one. This is going to take a bit. Go get some coffee. If I had known definitively what I was going to be doing for the project, I could have had this done in advance, but did I know that? No. No, I did not. We had our parent-teacher conference last night with Leah's 5th grade teacher. She's doing well academically. She's doing well socially. She seems to be, or continues to be, well liked by peer and teacher, but we do still need to work on her slovenliness. They nicknamed her at school Hurricane Leah, apparently, and she thinks that's hysterical. Like, no, not funny. She leaves a bunch of destruction in her wake whenever she does, and they have to almost continually pull her back to tend to her space or whatnot, which is really frustrating because she's like that at home too, and always has been. I'm not sure how to make that stop. Okay, 2 fishes down. Has anyone seen any Black Friday deals? I'm not talking about like boring gifts for your family, but crafting Black Friday deals this year. I've not seen anything yet. Last year was amazing and I spent so much money. And my husband wonders why I wouldn't let him get me anything last year. And oh, I already spent all my money. Look what you got me, honey. You got all these packages. I think this year, though, I'm going to make more of an effort to not do grab bags. I know a lot of companies like to do their grab bags. I got I don't want to say a bunch, but I got several different ones last year, and by the time I got the packages and opened them up, and they weren't, I was getting things that I would not have purchased probably at any price without the grab bag. So I think this year I'm gonna make a resolution to just stay away from grab bag stuff. You know what's awesome though, if they do it again this year, Studio Calico did a huge, sorry, coffee break. It did a huge sale last year that went on for like 2 weeks, and you paid one shipping price, and anything that you purchased within those 2 weeks would still get combined. And they had so much stuff really deeply discounted, and it was good stuff too. And I was picking up like different kits and stuff just to harvest the papers and the pieces out of the kit to use in other crafts, even not necessarily because I wanted to, you know, the kit for whatever it was for, you know, like if it was a planner kit or something. Oh, good morning, Keisha. But I took like the paper out of it, and I took the accessories out of it, and so on and so forth, and then I just used it. But it was amazing. I think I spent, I don't know, probably around 80 bucks or whatever, but got an enormous box of stuff. That's how I get a lot of stuff for my Happy Meals and things. Okay. Oh, that's thoughtful, Keisha. I'm talking about Studio Calico's sale last year. It happened like between Christmas and New Year's Day. They had massive clearance sales. Amazing. Where's the, oh, I was like, where's the card that I was working on? So let's mask these off. I was talking about different Black Friday sales and things coming this year, because I haven't seen anything yet for crafty sales. Again, I'm sorry, I'm moving this a little bit closer to my face because it's easier for me to see. With something like this, you don't want to mess up. I'm just placing my little masks right on top of my fishies. I will try to save the masks. I will let you know if I hear anything. I got a ton of stuff last year, and I even picked up some stuff to resell, like in my eBay store. Yeah, that's how good some of these, I don't have any of that stuff left anymore, but that's how good the prices were. If you're looking, and I have a whole video on how to earn some extra crafting money, but if you're looking for ways to earn a little extra, oh, I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention to the screen. That means I need to shut the window next to me. Not window, the curtains. Yeah. If you're looking for a way to earn some extra crafting money, picking up good deals to resell later is, sorry about the crashing. That should be better. Better-ish. Let me shut the screen too. It's a really sunny morning here, so I've already had to like adjust different different windows and stuff. Let me turn off the overhead light too. I'm grateful for this really, really well lit room, but sometimes, man, I don't even know if that helped at all. Let's see. It's too bright. Oh, man. I feel like a vampire today. Does that help? Or is it coming from behind me? I think the light's coming from behind me. Let's close those blinds too. That's as good as I'm gonna get. Good as I'm gonna get. I've shut all blinds, all curtains in this room. I think it's coming from behind me, and there's too much room behind me to set something up to cover behind me. As they say, this is New England, wait 10 minutes and then then it's gonna shift. I'm just taking my little masks and placing them onto my scene here. I love this little starfish. I'm so glad that she fits. Okay, now I wanted to put some scenery pieces just to help build my scene. Oh, I already pulled them out. So I've masked these off, so when I stamp these scenery pieces, they're going to look like they're behind my my little characters here. Here's a little rock. And what else do we have? I think that's it. I don't want to overdo it. Let me get my stamp positioner, which I moved somewhere. Oh, here it is. The stamp set that I'm using from Kindred Stamps, and the items that I'm using are linked at the top of the chat. This is the stamp set from Kindred Stamps. This is new-ish. I just opened it. It's brand new, but this came out in August. This set, and then I'm also going to be using from My Favorite Things. I'm going to be using the aquarium die set to make a shaker card, which is the scene that I'm building is going to be the scene that's going to be in the background of my aquarium. This I've not used before, and I do have the coordinating pouches to go with that. And then I pulled from my stash this set from Lawn Fawn, which is You Are Sublime, just because I wanted to use a little bit of the vegetation to just kind of pull together my look. And this one I've used before. You guys have seen many different projects that I have done with that one. Okay. And again, links are up above for anybody that is just joining us. I can see that we have a couple of people. I am aware of the light issue. I was not anticipating the sun to be quite so bright. I can't do anything about it. This is not a professional studio. This is my living room. I've shut all of my curtains and all of my blinds, and it is still this bright. It will not be this bright for long, though. It does move along. Okay, so I think that is going to be, I'll stamp it out and see. So I've stamped out my images, my little characters. I've made little masks, and I'm covering them up. And then I'm going to stamp some vegetation. I'm not sure if I like the position of that rock, so I'm going to change it. The vegetation, which I want it to appear behind my fish. Better. So I'm stamping it second. So we will see how this looks. And if I mess up, I did stamp out extras, so we can we can move on from here. I'm gonna stamp that one more time. I've got a little bit of some broken black. Oh, bye, Keisha. Thanks so much for popping by. We're really close to our next giveaway, I noticed too. So if you're new here, and don't mind my extreme annoyingness, hit the subscribe button. We're going to do a giveaway once we get 3 more subscribers. Oh, I need to stamp out the little plants now and make little masks for them. I think this is the right side of my sticky. Have a good day. I'm less concerned with the quality of, the stamping on this one because they're just going to be cut out. Okay. Let's put these stamps away. Oh my goodness, that stupid little bubble. Stop it. Okay. Out of the way, out of the way, out of the way. Let's cut. More masking. If you're just joining me, I do plan to make several of these cards. Probably with, you know, different sentiments and stuff. And of course I won't take your time and I won't make, you know, I won't make them all on air for you, but especially if you're, the way I see it, if I'm going to, you know, go all out and do masking and inking, and I'm going to make a huge mess, and I'm going to make more than one so that I have them in my little stash. And I was also saying a little bit earlier that having a stash is a good thing, because then when somebody needs something, you have cards to give them. I just sent my husband into work today, and he has a whole set of my handmade cards from my stash that he's going to donate to their silent auction, raising holiday funds for charity this year. So that's cool. I do give a lot of my cards away. Mask for the rock. And now some sort of cloud has gone through, and now it is almost completely dark in here. And I might need to turn on a light because I can't see. I just turned on the overhead light in the room. And just because the lighting is weird, you can see my my phone mounted up above me. My phone was not charged to 100% before I started filming, so I don't know how much time I'm going to get out of this. But if for any reason my my phone cuts off before I have a completed card for you, you can look at my Instagram. I'll have it. I will have it up. This one's going to be just not fun to fussy cut. I don't like the tails. Get rid of them. I may have to grab my tweezers to help me hold this side into place. I don't know what I did with them. They're around here somewhere. And sorry again if I'm not giving you a great view of this fussy cutting. I don't have great eyesight, so we're going to have better results the closer I can have this next to my face. This one in particular is not fun. Not fun to the point where I'm almost about ready to say screw it. Let's do another one. Didn't think this one out very well. I may end up having to hand color over my image, which is fine, to make up for my deficits in fussy cuttinginess. Come on. Here we go. Now I have all these little papers everywhere. It's gonna drive me nuts. Stop it. Goodness, another big truck driving by. Everyone on this street, it seems like this week, is getting their propane delivered. And although my shades are closed and I can't actually see to confirm, I'm wondering if that is just a neighbor getting propane. Okay, so now I am placing my masks plural, over the vegetation and that little rock here. And I'm going to be doing some Distress Oxide blending right over this to make my little background. So the jury is still out whether or not this is the way to do it, or making a background and then stamping and coloring your images and then just fussy cutting them out and gluing them on. This is probably my slightly preferred way of doing it with, it's the fact that I'm doing a shaker card, just because the more things that you have, like a die cut glued to the inside, the more difficult it's going to make this stuff inside to shake around. Here comes another patch of really bright sun. Sorry. Again, you're hanging out with me in my living room and not a professional studio. We're going to be using some Mermaid Lagoon and some Peacock Feathers, and the combination of the two of these is my favorite for water backgrounds. So the only spot that's going to show on my card is this part in the rectangle here. And I hope, oh no, I got a little mask popping up. I hope this works, because you know what? Making a mistake live, not my favorite. Oh, you know what? The mask on my blue tang fish keeps coming up, but my blue tang fish is gonna be blue. So if anyone is gonna start coming up, it might as well be the one that's gonna just be blue anyway. I am trying to go with a little bit of a light hand because I know that my masks have some small, delicate bits to them, like this one keeps popping up. I just move it in this one direction. I want it to be a little bit darker. And I do plan to make multiples of this card. So these masks, when I peel them off here, I'm going to let them dry and set them aside, and then I will just use them again. On my others, when I stamped out these ones, I did stamp multiples. Obviously the vegetation isn't on these, but I will get there. Okay, so I think that is pretty much what I'm looking for. Going to get the back of my stamp packaging. Here is where I'm going to put my masks, and technically my vegetation ones need to come up first because they're on top. So I'm just very delicately trying to peel without destroying. Okay. And here's that bit of the tail of the blue tangfish, but that's okay because I'm going to color. The fish is going to be blue, so I'm not considering that to be a huge tragedy. Again, I'm just pulling my masks off and I'm sticking them right to the back of the acetate carrier sheets that my stamps are on. Just a great place to store them. And as long as they don't get destroyed, these masks will last indefinitely too, so I can use them on these other cards, and if they still last beyond that, then I will just keep them stored right here for the next project. Here's the large clownfish. Oh, this one's going to be a jerk. I can feel it. I might, on my other cards, I might phase this particular plant out. Which goes here. If I could find my tweezers, I'd be using my tweezers instead of my fingernails to do this. I don't know what happened to them. And then let me get that rock up. Okay. Masks are up. Here is my little work here. Again, you can see on the fin here, you can see where, because I hand fussy cut my masks, some of them have a little extra white space that was not intended. To me, that's not a very big deal. If I wanted to, I would take a little bit of water and just kind of blend out some of this distress ink to take those gaps, but to move into those gaps, but I will worry about that once I do some image coloring here. So I need to wipe my fingers because I have Distress Oxide on them. And I'm just gonna test it with a pouch here to just make sure. Most of my, I made a little bit of a pencil line just to, when I was initially setting up the scene here. You can't really even tell that's there, so I'm not even sure if that's worth trying to erase, but it looks like my scene will fit inside of here. So my next step is going to be to just color my little scene. And at the beginning of this video, I ruled out working with alcohol markers just because I'm using Bristol paper, and the alcohol markers on my test didn't seem to work out too well. So I'm going to pull out my Tombos. My Tombos are sitting right next to me here. This is my to-go, my coloring on the go kit, which my Tombos always stay in here because these are the ones that I will take with me when I'm going to appointments or at my daughter's games or something. Obviously my markers are here. This is not drinking water. This is just tap water for watercoloring. And I have watercolor brushes in here. A friend made me this little container here, and I keep my papers in here just because sometimes it rains if you're at a game or whatever. But it has more brushes in here. It has some color swatches that I've made, and actually I have this one that needs to get put back in here while it's open. And then I have some stuff that's all ready to be colored, so if I'm just sitting there at a game, I can pull the next thing out. And I do have a lap pad that I bring with me, but sometimes if I forget it, I'll just use this plastic container as a solid surface to hold my coloring on. Anyway, so that is my to-go container. And this spot right here is perfect for putting an iced latte on the go. And like this pocket here, my wallet fits in here perfectly. I can put my phone in these pockets and my keys. So like if I'm going to a game, I don't even bother bringing my purse. I just bring this with me and just transfer my stuff in there. But anyway, let's do a little coloring. I'm not super familiar with what clownfish are supposed to look like. I'm going to do just very basic coloring. I think that they have some black in them and some white in them. I don't know. I'm not going for realistic, I'm going for whimsy. And I'm not even going to take my, I'm not even going to get my watercolor brush out and blend it out further. I'm just going to do straight Tombow coloring here. They're so cute. Such cute little cuties. I'm going to come back and color over that black, that mouth with some black in a minute. Just let it dry and move on to the next one. I love these markers. Okay, I think that's all I need. Oop, I just got marker on myself. I think that's all I need for the orange. Let me pull out my black. Yep, this one's my black. And I'm gonna go in and just put a couple details. And I'm just making my little lines a little darker to cover up my poor fussy cutting. Card Maker 101. Make it look like you meant to do that. And then you meant to do it. I'm just darkening my outlines here, and it's covering up my boo-boos. Okay. The little smile on this pudgy little clownfish is adorable. So cute. As my daughter would say, too very cute. She's gonna love this card for her friend Lillian. That is clownfish. Let's color this plant back here. And I'm just shading my white spots in with a little green. Makes it look like this was done intentionally. Sure. You've got to channel your inner Gimli. That was deliberate. That was deliberate. I have not seen Lord of the Ring movies in a while. I need to dig those out. Okay, so let's do little, is this pink? Just want to test my colors and see how they look together. Yeah, I like that. I do a little pink starfish, and then I'm going to do her details in the purple. I'm going outside the lines a little bit, and I know it, and I'm covering up those little white spots missed from my fussy cutting. I think that it looks fine. I'm not concerned at all with how that goes over the lines a little bit. It's getting dark in here again, just as I need to see what I'm doing. Awesome. It's a New England autumn. Okay, so let's color the rock. I'm delaying a little bit on this tankfish because I forgot what tankfish look like. Let's get some gray on this rock. This is too light. I want a darker gray. Oh, here's one. That one might be too dark. Here's a nice darker. I think that's too dark. Too dark still, so I'll go back with the light one and just blend it out. I think that that looks fine. So, gosh, what is it? Is it lighter blue, darker blue, and yellow? Is that what we have? I'm just guessing. I'm not making any efforts to be accurate here. Let me just see how these colors look together. Thought I had something on my tip there. Perfect. I like it. Let's do light blue. I think it's probably just the clownfish. I went too far. Or I didn't cut them precise enough. But I think for balance, I'm going to have to go in and blacken the edges of this one as well. Because it just looks out of place a little bit. That's okay. Okay, so light blue. Dark blue. Yellow. I think that this is probably supposed to be opposite. I think I messed up my dark blues and my light blues. That's okay. Also, one of the perks of making multiples of something is if you mess up on one and it's still passable, then just keep on using it. Let's just take off some of the color. See, I got some blue on my Tombow, but it will, you can just color it right off. You can just keep using it. Switch up your coloring on the next one. And just coloring my last piece of greenery here. My lines on this one are already pretty dark, so I'm just gonna go over a little bit to cover that white. Okay, there's the black. Just gonna go in on the black and shade the outline of the fish just so that it kind of matches the theme. And obviously covers up any mistakes. Let's do the starfish too. Just for balance. She's so cute. Okay, so that is my scene. Pretty easy. Now we're going to build the shaker components for the inside. And this is a 1-layer card, so there shouldn't be anything interfering with the little bits that I'm going to have on the inside. Let me get my tombos out of the way. Let me get my Cuttlebug over here. So we're going to have to use some die cutting. Excuse me. Hiccups. Okay, Cuttlebug, mini shaker pouches. I'm going to, I forgot what this piece is for. Let me look. Oh, they're just accent pieces. Okay, so I can keep all of those together, I think, all 3 of them, and just, because they're all going to get cut from the same color cardstock. Which is going to be gray. Let me check my scrap bin, which is right underneath the desk. See if I have any gray. I might not. I think I may have used it all. Opening up my drawer here on my desk, which has my colored cardstock. We're going to grab a piece of gray. Through my Cuttlebug. These are just the little pieces that we're going to use to accent the aquarium. I'll probably heat emboss my sentiment on this gray coordinating this little spot here down below. So I have 3 gray pieces. And now is the hard part though, because we have to figure out what kind of paper we're gonna set our aquarium onto. I pulled from my stash a couple of paper pads that I thought might be fun to flip through. I've got this 6x6 paper pad from Cartabella called Summer Splash. And I also have this 6x6 paper pad from Echo Park called Under the Sea. So I want to do a flip through both of them and see if there was anything, like I like this one for a fish tank, see if there was anything that I wanted to use. So, oh, I like this one too. This one. This one and oops, this one and this one are my front runners. Let's set this over here. Let's flip through the other one really quick. That one is so cute. These ones are really nice, but they're quite a bit darker. That one is cute. I'm really now in the mood for summer crafts again. I'm done with Christmas. Look at that. Would that go okay? That might be a little bit too clownfishy. That might be too clownfishy. That might be pushing it a little. Okay, so that's a really nice pad, but I think we're down to waves or these starfish. Let's see what it looks like with the starfish. So I'm going to, I'm probably gonna mount this on something. I think for color, I have my paper trimmer off camera behind me, so I'm going to cut a piece of paper to mount this paper on, and then I'm going to cut that to size as well. I just don't know what color I'm going to go with. Yes. Yes. Nice dark aqua from Recollections. I think this shade comes in one of those variety packs. Okay, so I want my aquarium cut from here, and then this is going to be in the background of that. So I think my die will go through these 2 pages at once. So I'm going to mount these together using something that I can't find. Something that I had not too long ago and now I can't seem to find. I had a roll of double-sided tape around here somewhere. That was before I started cleaning. Alright, that's fine. I have some score tape right here. I'll just use that. This is 1/8 inch score tape. I was looking for my 1/4 inch tape. I know it's around here somewhere. It'll turn up eventually. And where's my pick? I don't like to use my nails. I feel like everything is... I just found my tweezers that I was looking for earlier. I'm in some sort of like Twilight Zone. Card making Twilight Zone where I can't find things. Okay, so I'm going to be mounting... I'm going to put a couple pieces in the side here. Just going to be mounting my pattern paper to that pretty aqua backdrop. I just think layers gives it a little something extra. It just makes it pop a little bit more. So I'm going to line that up. Press it down. So this is going to be my background, and then I'm going to try to find center on my aquarium here. Actually a little bit lower because these accessory pieces are going to go on top, and I still need to leave room for my sentiment, which is probably going to go on the bottom. And I'm really just eyeballing this. I generally don't find things are too too life or death that you have to pull out, like the laser mat and the T-ruler and all those things. So I'm going to run this through my die cut machine, and I'm going to hope that it's going to cut through both layers of cardstock. I'll run it through twice. It did, without issue, so set that aside. So here we are with a nice cut, and our little scene is going to fit right back here. So obviously the next step is to cut down my scene, and I don't have to be super precise about this because nobody's going to see the very edges, but I want to have enough edge so that I can put adhesive behind it. So I just cut that down to something a little bit more reasonably sized. And then where are my pouches? Pouches. So, and now we're getting into the fun parts, the assembling of the shaker. These pouches are amazing. Love them. One thing that I have learned, and I can't stress enough, is that if you use wet glue anywhere near these pouches, it's going to smear onto the plastic pouch and it's going to kind of ruin it. So I have been using score tape, and I have my brand name score tape out. I'm going to use 1/8 of an inch score tape, and I'm just going to put the tape all the way around the edge instead of wet glue. And that is how my pouch is going to get held on. Then we'll fill the pouch. We'll attach the scene to it. And then that's it. It comes together really quickly once all of your different components are out of the way. So my little shaker pouch, I'm going to fit right through here. I'm going to flip it over so that I can, this has dimensions, so I can't press this way, but I'm going to just press down really hard. I'm going to burnish the outside to make sure that my plastic pouch is really stuck down. And then there we go. I'm going to put some stuff in here, and then I'm going to put this piece on the back, and then this is my aquarium scene. Really easy. Let me get a little bit of score tape on top of this now so that I can use that to adhere my scene once we get it filled. I'm not going to want to mess with the score tape once the sequins are in here, because the sequins will bounce around and then they'll touch things and it'll make a mess. And it's better to just get this prepared ahead of time and be really careful instead of deliberately inviting problems by having the sequins in here first. Okay, so I dragged them out. For sequins, I grabbed out my blues. So we will have to see what we can come up with. These are pill organizers from the Dollar Tree that I get, and you might recognize them. They're usually by the register, and they come in a rainbow pack of different colors. I use them to hold my sequins, and I buy multiple packs of them. And I just I separate them, and then I put them into, instead of one of every color, I just keep like all of my blues here for my blue, and so on and so forth. So this is some nice dark blue. Let's use a couple of those. And these are really easy to dispense sequins out of. Oh yeah, a couple of iridescent glittery blue. Absolutely. I'm going to go with a whole mess of blue. What do we have here? Ooh, maybe just a couple of those. Sure, a couple of those. Why not? Maybe not that many. I said a couple. Why aren't you listening to me? Oops. And some really light blue. Sure. And now I think we're going to be getting into kind of like the blue-greens. Here's a couple of this beautiful teal, which actually looks nice with the background paper. And was that it? No. There's one more. That was that one. Here's a couple of sort of clear iridescent. Sorry about the squeaking. And then here's a couple of really light greenish blue. Let's take a look. Let's pour these into my shaker and see how full we've got it. That might be a good amount. See what I just did? I accidentally just got my sequin in my tape. You do not want to do that. Make sure that they're not near the edge. I think this is a good amount of sequins. So I'm going to just try to, let me move this out of the way. Try to make sure that none of the sequins are anywhere near the tape. I'm going to get my supplies behind me and then try to line up my scene. This is going to be a little bit on the hard side, and I'm going to have to lift it up and look underneath because I want to make sure that I am lining it up properly before I stick it down. If I had planned this better, I would have had, you know, the size of the paper appropriately, but it was at a, that I could just do this, but it was at an angle, and I'll do it better with future ones. So you can't see it, but I had it up over my head. And now it's just, I can lift it off if I need to, but I'm just going to flip it over and make sure that I've placed my scene properly. My guide point is that rock and that plant. So I'm going to lift it up slightly and adjust. Let's try this again. Perfect. Okay. There's my little shaker. Uh-oh. I do have one sequin that, oh, no, it's not. It's just, I was going to say I have one sequin that must be stuck in the tape, but it's not stuck in the tape. That might just be static electricity or something. But there is my shaker, and I'm going to, once again, use my finger and just burnish it down a bit. Now I'm going to mount it to my card base, and I have a bunch of card bases next to me. These shaker pouches are amazing. I've already had to order more of the, so far I have the square ones, and then I have these aquarium ones, and I've already had to order more of the square ones because I've already been through a ton of them for Christmas cards. Making snow shakers. I don't think that I'll collect every shape, but yeah. They're definitely well worth the investment. I think the dies themselves are usually only in the $15 range, and I'm sure that if you really, really wanted to, if you were clever with a craft knife, you could probably even get away with not having the die, just being really precise with your measurements and cutting by hand. I think that the price of the dies are well worth it, and you can usually find them on sale somewhere. But those pouches, and they're thin enough that I'm still able to get them into an envelope with a first-class stamp, instead of like with the homemade shakers with the various layers of foam. And also another good thing, I think I put this in backwards, didn't I? No, I didn't. Sentiment's going on the top, right? I guess it doesn't matter. Another good thing is that if you wanted to use glitter in here, there's no liquid glue, and there's no foam tape on the outside, so you don't need to worry about the tape, not the tape, yeah, the foam tape sticking to your glitter. Okay, so there we go. There's my little card. So now I'm just going to complete the look with my Lawn Fawn glue, and I am going to be careful with this Lawn Fawn glue because, like I said, if you get any of the glue on the plastic, it's never coming off. It's just going to rub and look stupid, so I am going to be careful not to align this with the plastic. So there's my aquarium hood. This is like just an accessory dimensional piece, but actually I don't know where it goes, so I'm going to look at the picture. It goes right on the bottom here for the aquarium. Perfect. I got a little glue smudge, but it's coming out the other side, so it's okay. And then this piece goes on the bottom, and then we're just going to make a sentiment and get that on the card, and then we're done. Not a bad way to spend the morning working on cute stuff. Look at that. Is that not the most adorable little thing in the whole world? And then Lillian can shake it and see the different things underneath. It might be slightly overstuffed with sequins. I think maybe in my subsequent cards I'll use a little less sequins, just so that a little bit more of the scene is showable. So I'm going to make a sentiment. Let me find the set here. Yes, this is the right one. I wanted to use, oh, I don't know if it's going to fit now. It's Official, You're Another Year Older. I'll put that one on the inside, and then I'll do Best Fishes on the outside here. So let's see. We're going to do Best Fishes. Should we do it on that aqua? That might look nice. Oh my goodness. Bunny rabbit. That might look nice on the aqua, or is that too much aqua? Should we do gray? Let's just do it on here. That'll be fine. That'll be fine. And I have from another project, I happen to have some white embossing powder next to me. So let's just emboss that in white. Get my stamp positioner out. It is, oh my goodness, this time change thing is kicking my butt, I tell you. I'm totally ready for lunch. It's only 11:30. Time changes are not fun to people who already suffer from insomnia. Okay, so I'm going to white heat emboss this. Maybe. If I can get my coffee filter open. I still have not been to get a silicone holder for my heat gun. I'm getting there. I just haven't been anywhere. Been sticking close to home. Okay, and while I have my stamp positioner out, I'll just go ahead and stamp that sentiment on the inside as well. I wanted to use it on the outside, but I can't see where it's going to fit without making things, I mean, I'm sure it will, but it'll make things a little bit more complicated on the design. So let's put this on the inside and let's stamp it really quick. And I'm going to use some fast ink right here because I want to close the card and get it out of the way. So I'm just going to use some archival ink instead of my extreme black, which takes a little while to dry. I think that my archival pad is getting a little dry. That looks fine. Okay, out of the way. And let me step aside slightly and heat emboss this. Trim the sentiment down. Got my little Carl trimmer here, which I can never say without thinking of Walking Dead. We're still a good season and a half behind on The Walking Dead. We don't have television, so it becomes hard to keep up with shows. But to be fair, after some of the slaughtering of last season, we've been a little heartbroken and not in the mood for it lately. Just gonna trim down my sentiment a little. There. Alright, that's better. Just making a little tail because I felt like it was appropriate. I'm probably not going to put any foam tape behind this. I like it just... Ooh! Sorry about that. That was the handle of my Cuttlebug popping off. I like the height the way that it is, so I'm going to leave it. Get a little tape. My sentiment. For a last detail, I thought it might be fun to put, I was thinking about some Nuvo drops, but then I was like, I love these little beads, not beads, gemstones from Lucy's Cards. This rainbow sparkle mix of jewels, so I thought it might be fun to use a couple of those. And they have this little bead tray here to help place things. Of course, my jewel picker is missing. I'm sure that will surprise you. I wonder, Leah had a friend over. I'm wondering if they did some craft stuff. And I'm not normally disorganized to the point where stuff would be missing from my eyes. This may be the handiwork of some 10-year-old crafters. We'll see. So let's, I guess we just use our fingers. I just wanted to place a couple little jewels for a little bit more sparkle. And because we have color coming in from that background paper, we can, I don't have to try to pick through and find a particular color. We can just use a little bit of all colors here. I like it. Let's get my glue. Use my fingertip. Just a little sparkle for Lillian. Hopefully this will bring her some joy on her birthday. She's gonna be 11. Okay, and that is it for the jewels. And I do like this little tray because it is so easy to just funnel things right back into the bag. Love it. And that is the card. I hope that you have enjoyed and that you found it inspiring. Again, the products that I have used come from Kindred Stamps and My Favorite Things and Lawn Fawn. And for Kindred Stamps and My Favorite Things, if you're watching the replay, way at the top of the chat when the chat first started, you will find the links to the products. I hope that you have enjoyed. And until next time, I'm going to try to do a live again next week. You take care. I'm going to pull my phone down here. Oops, messing up. Bye.